Hi there. Hey, Verify is a free app that helps you find great places to eat. Whether you're eating out or getting food delivered, Verify brings together restaurants across the UK, shows you what's vegan on their menu, and links you to delivery or reservation options. And it's now on the App Store and Google Play. Today's episode is all about plant-based power. It's fitness and stuff like that. Some diet stuff, I guess. So, if you're anything like me, why don't you crack open an ice-cold can of vegan condensed milk and sip away at it while we welcome our experts for today. Mariam Al-Jarallah is the founder of Oneness, a voluntary group that focuses on supporting individuals' health and education around the world. Mariam's expertise includes being an ISSA certified personal trainer. Is that the International Space Station? I think so. Strength and conditioning coach working at Lose Gain Gym in Kuwait. Mariam's also a certified nutritionist with a diploma in vegan nutrition and transformational fat loss. Although her main degree was in engineering, it didn't stop Mariam from pursuing what truly interested her and has changed her life around, which is health and wellness. Ella Majors, as the founder of Sexy Fit Vegan, and in my case, 1 out of 3 isn't bad, she has built an audience that stretches across the globe. That's a very stretchy audience. Her work as a speaker, author, podcast host, and coach gives people the tools they need to honour and empower themselves. After healing from her own struggles with disordered eating and a distorted body image, Ella wanted to help people align their actions with their values, develop a healthy relationship with food and their bodies. Ella Majors shows people the alternatives to crash diets, excessive workout regimens, and is on a mission to prove that plant-based living is the quickest path to holistic health. Welcome. Thanks for, I hope all of that was relatively factually accurate. Thanks so much for doing this. I think you can tell at one glance on the Zoom call that I'm very much your target audience as a prospective recruit rather than decades of experience practitioner. Raw potential, right? Would you agree, Ella? Yeah, sure.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. Good. Yeah. It's potential. There's potential. All right. So this is all about sort of plant power and on all of that stuff. We've had some great questions through from people. So we're going to jump straight in. Magda says, "What kind of foods are you eating in a day?" That's a great opening question. Are there certain foods you stay away from and other foods you focus on? I'm guessing Magda's not asking me. I like to start with a warmed tub of margarine, which I drink from the microwave. But Miriam, let's start with you. What do you eat in a day?
Oh, that's a very exciting question. I love greens. Anything that's green, I love it. Sometimes I make green juice in the morning, evenings. I like to make oatmeal. I like tofu. Good source of protein, and I think you can play a lot with it as breakfast and as main dishes as well. I love creating salads just because a lot of people see it's boring and it looks very blunt. It's not filling. So for me, I like to take it as a challenge, make it look appealing, creative, filling, and full of, let's say, all your macros that you need from proteins, carbs, and good fats. So, yeah.
That's good. I mean, the one thing about salads is it just takes so long. Do you not have days when you're like, I cannot scrub another carrot? I just can't.
I'm tired of chopping.
Yeah. The chopping, the endless chopping. Very good. Ella, what about you? What kind of stuff do you eat?
Well, question, Jake, were you talking about it taking a long time to make the salad or to eat the salad? Where was the time issue?
Eating never takes a huge amount of time for me.
Got it.
There's a sort of funnel effect.
We're going to have to talk about that.
Oh. Okay. Oh. You're not going to tell me my other mother was right all these years, are you? It's the chopping, the endless chopping and dicing and slicing.
Yes. Well, speaking of salads, me, it's greens and beans all the way. I eat ridiculous amount of greens and a ridiculous amount of beans. Like that's the foundation for my entire diet. And I don't like to say diet. I used to like to say way of eating, but yes, salad for breakfast, hashtag salad for breakfast. So yes, I ate a ton of salad for breakfast. I have found that it is the best way. And when I say salad, yes, there's some chopping involved, but they have some of those handy little tools that you can like put in, cucumber and peppers and into this little chopper. And in literally, 5 seconds.
Right, you've done one of those because I've always been intrigued by those.
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
As long as you don't care. It's not going to be pretty. It's not pretty. But,
I'm not pretty.
Well, there you go.
I am what I eat. Okay, go on.
Anyway, so salad for breakfast. And then throughout the day, I'm a very simple eater. So I'll take, and I don't like spending much time in the kitchen. So I'll take a bag of frozen green peas, for example, 5 to 7 minutes, boil the peas, put them in a bowl, drain them, put them in a bowl, and add some walnut flakes or walnut pieces on top, a little seasoning. I do use a little bit of olive oil, and I know some people are oil free. I do a little bit of olive oil, and that's my lunch. It's like huge bowl, super filling, tons of protein, and that's kind of how I eat. So taking veggies and putting them in the oven and roasting them, putting some seasoning on top and eating them. Like I'm keeping it really, really simple. Beans, greens.
Beans, greens, and margarines in my case. So
there we
go. We took one each. I love your peas recipe. I'm all about green peas. They're just they're hugely underrated, I think.
I agree.
As a wonderful
Quick
dish.
and easy, especially for a busy day. Yeah. It won't take more than 10 minutes of your time just to cook it and eat it and feel fully.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. I've never found myself having to slice peas. Sarah says, I've read that it's better to eat after you work out because you burn it off quicker. Is this a myth? When is the best time to work out and fit your meals in? Let's start with you, Ella.
Well, for the majority of people who are not trying to be professional athletes, and for me, the best time to work out is when you can work out, when you can get it in. So I'm all about the practical. I'm all about helping people. Most people live very busy lives, and we want to go from like not working it out at all. When's the perfect time to work out? Let's work out when we can work out. So if that's first thing in the morning for you, work out first thing in the morning. If that's in the evening after work, do it then. A lot of people wait till the evening and then things happen right throughout the day. So for a lot of people, getting it done first thing in the morning is great. For me, we're not trying to be, the best in the world. You're not trying to win an Olympic gold medal. So my answer is work out when you can work out.
That's a good answer. Mariam, what about you?
Oh, I agree with you, Ella. A lot of people ask, when's the perfect time to work out? When's the perfect time to eat? Is it better to eat before a workout or after a workout? To me, eat when you feel hungry. Yes, it's good to eat after a workout because your body mostly is burning a lot. But at the same time, you should have some kind of food before, at least 2 hours before your workout, because your body needs energy to work out. So eat whenever you're hungry or whenever you feel hungry. Not too much before the workout, so you don't feel bloated or too heavy for a workout. But yeah, just keep it simple. Whenever you feel hungry, eat. Whenever you can work out, just make time to work out. Take it so easy, so simple, so you can make it a part of your lifestyle and not later on becomes like something too heavy and you can't continue on doing it anymore.
Awesome. Yes. Go, Ella. Yes.
And for me, it's also, this is in part where the mindful eating comes in, Jake, because being able to, I went through most of my life funneling my food, like most people, just kind of getting it in there as fast as you can. And what usually happens, overeating is involved. 20 minutes later, there's, you start to feel a little overly full and you're like,
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Just saying, I mean,
maybe,
for some people.
Maybe some people, sure.
Yeah. And chewing your food, and it really made a huge difference for me. I mean, when I started chewing my food to a pace, like creating a smoothie in my mouth before swallowing, everything changed. My digestion changed, my ability to understand when I needed to stop eating and being able to regulate the amount of food I was eating, being able to understand like, okay, my workout is in 2 hours. I've got a class I'm doing. So I've got 2 hours. How much do I need to eat right now so that I can feel my best and be in my best place to be able to maximize my workout? So I know now down to the chickpea, how many chickpeas I need to eat 2 hours before so that I can feel energized, not full, not bloated. The bloating went away when I started chewing my food to a paste.
Okay.
Our digestion starts in our mouth. So when you start to digest your food in that chewing process, and again, you're able to stop before you get overly full. So just a little tip. Yes.
2 questions.
Yes.
I've always wondered what bloating means. Does it mean doing windy pop blow-offs?
You don't know what bloating means?
But I mean, does it mean
farting?
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Yes, that.
It's not a bad word. Fat.
No, you're right. You're right. Is that what you mean?
No. But it could.
Sorry.
It can. No, bloating is something different. Bloating
because
is
I
when
always
you're.
thought it was some coy euphemism for that, and it's not.
No.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Second question.
Yes.
How many chickpeas?
Well, for 2 hours, and it depends also on where I'm at, if I ate dinner, what time I ate dinner and all that, but approximately 13.
Amazing. Unlucky for some, baker's dozen. Very good. And okay, so chewing, okay, I will, all right, I will. Right. Tara says, when you're on a strict diet, I feel like I know what this answer is going to be already. Do you struggle to eat out? This is where I go wrong. I run fairly regularly, but I do drink alcohol and I eat out a lot, so I never really see the benefits. But equally, I don't want to opt for salads on a menu all the time. Help, says Tara. Eating out. Yes. Is that problematic, Ella?
Is it problematic? Well, not at all. And I think it also, a lot of this depends on what kind of a city you live in. If you live in a Bedford or you live in Miami, there's two different, two different areas.
Could I have 13 chickpeas, please? Thank you very much.
Yeah. In general, I found that sometimes even when you look over the menu and you don't see anything, sometimes not being annoying, but just asking, do you have anything, plants? Can the chef make some veggies? Sometimes, and actually more times than you think you're being a pain in the butt, but sometimes the chef is like, oh, this is a great chance for me to do something different because I'm stuck to this menu all the time. And now here I get to roast some vegetables. And oftentimes that plate will come out and everybody else at the table will be like, I didn't see that on the menu. I want that. Yeah. And people will get actually jealous. So it's worth asking in a very, polite way. Hey, I'm vegan or I'm plant-based. I don't eat animal products. Is there anything that the chef does for that? Sometimes it's really helpful to ask instead of just looking for, something that's already on the menu. So getting creative, also seeing your going out time as an opportunity for other things other than just the eating, seeing it as an opportunity to be social, to see it as a chance to be there with your friends. Maybe you're not going to get the best meal. Maybe you need to eat when you eat a little something before, so you're not hungry, or eat something after. But just having the best attitude you can about it and making the best out of it and knowing that you're not going to starve and seeing it for, other opportunities can be helpful.
Okay. Mariam.
I agree with a lot of what Ella said. Generally, if I'm on a strict diet, I don't like to use diet. I like to use the word lifestyle. But if I'm on let's say a strict program or following a strict program, I generally prepare my meals ahead of time just so I can avoid all of that mess. I know what I'll be eating throughout the days, how many calories, how much protein, and to that extent, how much protein, carbs, and all of that. I don't have to worry. Whenever I feel hungry, I have my food. Wherever we are, whether we're at a restaurant or out or at home, I know that I have my food with me whenever is needed. And I don't think, even if we go to a restaurant and I don't have my food prepared, there is always a way out, whether the chef can help, whether it's something on the sides. You can take roasted vegetables with brown rice, salad, lentil soup. These small things are usually always there in every single restaurant. So I think it's more or less easy.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is I read an article recently, and it compared the calorific value of I think like takeaway meals, but I think it applies to restaurant meals as well, and how they've changed over the last few decades. And it's sort of gone. Meals have gone from being sort of 600 or 700 calories to now being like your whole calorific allowance for the day. And I'm guessing maybe if you are trying to cut down on your food, like doggy bags maybe are your friend. Having this sort of self-discipline not to eat everything that's put in front of you. But then once the alcohol's in the mix, well, it's very hard, isn't it?
Yeah. And also finding that balance. And I think that was such a good point you just made, Jake. And what helps you to not overeat? Eating slowly, mindfully.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mom.
Sure.
I would say it over and over because it literally changed my life. In addition to the lives of my clients, but also finding that balance. And I know if I'm going to go out to eat and I'm going to have, kind of a meal that I wouldn't have prepared at home, I might splurge a little with something with more oil than I would normally have. Then I'm knowing that ahead of time, and I'm drinking, really focused not on restricting myself the other parts of the day, but really filling my body with the best nutrition. And when we focus on that, so I'm going to have an extra green juice that day, and really and then when you're going to that restaurant having had green juice and having loaded up on super clean eating, then number one, you feel a little more motivated to behave yourself at the restaurant, to eat slower and to maybe take some of that home. But also you have a little more room to do that if you're eating clean otherwise.
True.
Maybe something I would like to add as well is to drink a lot of water and staying hydrated throughout the whole day. Research has showed that sometimes when you're thirsty, your brain cells send fat signals. So sometimes your brain does not differentiate between thirst and hunger. So we automatically think that we're hungry and grab anything that's in front of us, whereas our body's crying for water. So maybe a little tip is to try and drink as much water throughout the day. You'll stay hydrated, you feel filling, you won't feel like you need to eat a lot of the times, and stay balanced.
Sure. And be more like my grandfather. I certainly had a memory of, he used to, our dessert when I went around to my grandparents was tinned pears with chocolate sauce and those ladyfinger biscuits. It was disgusting. But he'd take a mouthful and then he'd fold his arms. He'd put his cutlery down and fold his arms while he was chewing. And, you'd sort of sit there and just watch him just masticating for hours. And then he'd take another mouthful. It would take, 4 days to finish the thing. It's horrendous. Okay, Anne-Marie says, the whole carbs are bad argument. Is this a valid argument or is it rubbish? Let's start with you, Mariam.
Nice question. We get that a lot from bad carbs and bad fat. And people are generally afraid of the word carbs. To me, carbs are good. They're really good. And it's much needed in your diet for energy, to complete a whole, let's say, mindful, holistic food lifestyle. You need carbs and good carbs. Don't be afraid of eating potatoes. Don't be afraid of eating rice or any kind of, let's say, carbs. Let's focus on how we cook our food. So instead of like deep frying our potatoes or fries, let's try using the air fryer or the oven. Let's try to come up with creative ways to cook our food rather than be afraid of certain food items that our body needs. Yes, if we choose potato chips, for example, yes, that's bad carbs. If you eat junk food, yes, it can be bad carbs, bad sugar. But yeah, let's try to make it more simple, focus on what our body needs and cook it in a healthier way.
Ella.
I second that. And yes, I think it's more about whole foods versus processed foods than anything else. So, and then if you're adding processed foods to whole foods, oils and things like that, that's when things go downhill. But as long as you're eating a variety of whole plant foods, then you're doing really great. Eating those, and all plants have carbohydrates. My beans that have tons of protein also have tons of carbohydrates, also has tons of fiber. Plant foods not only have the carbohydrates, they have the fiber, which is the number one protective factor against heart disease. So, and all the protein. So yeah, second that.
On a sort of broader note, all of these kind of diets where, there's I'm having a red day, or, anything that sort of says, well, just don't eat these things and it will all magically work. I'm guessing both of you would kind of advise against any of these kind of overly simplified, in a way, diets. Would you, Ella?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Great. Mariam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Grace. Our sponsors of the podcast today are Verify, a mobile app which brings together restaurants across the UK. It shows you what's in your area, it shows you what you can eat on the menu, and you can also connect to delivery or reservations. You can even help out the vegan community by rating and reviewing your favourite vegan places to eat. The team who created Verify are going to be demonstrating the app at Vegan Life Live. That's in Alexandra Palace on the 11th and 12th of June. So why not head along to stand G4 to learn more? The app's free to download on iOS and Android. So hey, give it a try. Gabriel says, hi Jake and panel. Thank you, Jake, for reading out my question on the Whole Foods episode about steaming vegetables. I've taken this advice and will never steam veg again. Ha ha ha. Sorry guys, don't listen to that one. That's that one was not for you two. I can see that this episode is all about powered by plants. However, I'm all about comfort food. So my question is, what's the panel's favourite comforting meal they like to make at home? I love this question, Gabriel. Thanks very much. Ella?
Ooh, I would say a baked potato with a cheese sauce made from cashews, sprinkled on top with tempeh bacon, because I know some people here love tempeh.
I was so with you. I was thinking, I can get on board. I can get on board with this healthy comfort food thing. I was right with you. And then you had to go and say the T word. Unbelievable.
I had to. Yeah. I love me some tempeh bacon, I have to say.
Do you? So, Thanks for coming. It's been great to chat. Bye-bye. Yeah.
But you know what? It's the cheesy sauce that you can make from cauliflower. You can make it from cashews. That cheesy, creamy sauce. Also adding that to grits. I don't know if anybody on other parts of the country or the world. I'm from the South.
This is like a kind of cornmeal porridge.
Yeah.
Basically.
So do you have polenta in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically polenta, but in the form of like a cereal, like a hot cereal.
And it's often like you use like the white corn, right? Is that right?
They have yellow corn grits.
Oh, they do? Okay, great. Okay.
Yep. So it's a southern meal, but cheesy grits. There's nothing more creamy. I think of creaminess for comfort for me.
Nice. And Miriam, what about you? Tempeh, is it?
No. It depends if I'm craving something savory or sweet. Maybe if it's something savory, I would automatically think of some sweet potato fries and like a veggie burger with some like lettuce, because vegan cheese, vegan cheese. Nice. And
Don't say
but
it.
maybe if I'm craving something sweet, I would think of probably doing a chickpea brownie.
Okay.
I know it does not sound.
I'm going to stay on board. I'm with you. I believe in you.
Ella, you need to
I can try this.
step up here.
It's like being in the swimming pool. Like, look at me. It's going to be okay. Yeah, okay, go on.
You would never taste the chickpeas whatsoever. But I said that just because it will give you a high amount of protein, and it will actually feel chewy and gooey, just like the brownie.
Mm-hmm. You can make brownies from black beans too. Have you done that, Mariam?
Yum. I haven't tried that. No. Yum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Jake does not seem convinced.
No, I'm 100%.
100% what?
Well done. You should be a lawyer. Right. Michelle, who we thought might have been called Tia, and then we realised she'd signed it off thanks in advance. It's TIA. Never seen that before. But her name's Michelle. Anyway, she says, hiya. Working on losing weight, gaining muscle. Currently struggling to meet my required protein intake on active days more so. And almost always top off my required carbs. Help required. So too many carbs, not enough protein, I think is what she's saying. Well, I've got a brownie recipe for you. Miriam, how would you redress that balance?
I think a lot of vegan athletes, especially when they're tracking or trying to track their macros, sometimes they might go overboard with the carbs and try to or will lack a little bit of protein. One advice that I've tried for myself and has helped me a lot is to download any tracking app, just so I can know exactly what I'm taking in. I do not generally like to use supplements. I mean, if I can take anything from my food intake naturally, then let's focus on that. But if you're way off your protein intake, maybe I would suggest having a protein shake from time to time until you get used to taking your protein intake. But yeah, try to focus on having your protein in every single meal, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, even your snacks. Try to have protein here and there and have it tracked maybe on an application, at least for the first couple of weeks until you try to understand that type of lifestyle. Your body's used to it. You see how your body reacts and then take it from there.
You're a big fan of tofu, aren't you? I mean, I find tofu, genuinely, like for a protein hit, like it's a great base food, isn't it?
Yeah. My breakfast, you can make scrambled tofu, lunch, dinner, any main dish. You can grill it. You can do so many things with tofu, and it tastes amazing.
If you want a lot of recipes involving tofu, I would say the first, 20, 25 episodes of this show, we had a feature called What do you do? What do you do with tofu? Where we just ask people, what do you do with tofu? So there's loads of recipes, if nowhere else. But I mean, there's this resource called the internet. It's well worth checking out. Ella, how much protein do people need? I mean, I guess it depends what your goals are and what you're trying to do. But I thought it was kind of a myth that vegans don't get enough protein.
Well, that was what I was going to ask. Thank you for taking that away from me.
Oh.
No, just kidding. No, I was going to say, what is this requirement that she's talking about? Because there's, bodybuilding. I was in the bodybuilding community for a long time, and it was like, they're taking in 200 grams of protein, and, a 150-pound woman would need to get at least 150 grams of protein if they were going to hit their macros. So, everybody's a little different. Everybody builds muscle at different rates and needs a little bit different of a macro count. So I'd be very curious to see what she thinks that this requirement is for her. Yeah. Number one. Number two, chances are she doesn't need as much as they're saying. However, yes, if we're working on building muscle, then we do want to make sure that we are getting in enough protein. So for me, utilizing legumes as kind of the base of all meals is the best way to do it. And like for a snack, instead of veggies and hummus, which is a very kind of, what do you eat as a vegan?
Classic.
Hummus,
It's level one vegan. Yep.
Level one vegan. A cup or two of edamame. That's a great snack. And that's going to give you, 20 grams protein right there, just in a snack. It's not even that filling. So yeah, for me, like, that's why I do the beans and greens for breakfast. I'm already getting a hit of protein there. And then every meal I have the base is beans for me, instead of the rice or the other carbs. Not that I don't do whole grains, I do, but they're kind of like, oh, if I'm still hungry, I'll add some rice or quinoa or whatever it is to it. But the base of my bowls, my salads, that's going to be the beans, because that's where the protein is. And tofu, absolutely. Yeah. Tofu, soybeans are the highest percentage wise protein for legumes, I believe. And tempeh.
Tempeh.
I was trying not to say the bad word again, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, this does not feel like a safe space for me.
I have 2 books with me right now. If she's interested, she can read more about them. One of them is called Plant-Based Diet for Athletes, which is this one. It's a really, really nice book. It talks a lot about food intake, what you need if you are working as an athlete or you want to build more muscle mass. It's a really, really nice book. It's semi-educational, and it talks about a lot of athletes around the world with different sports that I think she can, learn a lot from. And another one is called a Plant-Based Sports Nutrition, which also talks a lot about protein intake for plant-based athletes. Yeah.
Nice. There you go. Good luck, Tia. I'm kidding. Michelle. Khadija says, what are easy ways for me to swap from dieting to lifestyle? This is a great question. I hate the whole diet culture, etc., but I do agree with eating well. However, it's so difficult to fit this into my busy life. I love this question. Thanks so much for this. Let's start with you, Ella.
Yeah, it takes some time. You've been eating a certain way your whole life, and it's just have a little patience with yourself. Yes. But like I said earlier, it doesn't have to take more time. It's just a matter of during that transition period of figuring out what your go-tos are. And when I say go-tos, your go-to breakfast, your go-to snacks, your go-to meals. And then what I like to help people do is to create a pantry and create a list of staples that you always keep your pantry stocked with. So you've got these go-tos, you've got your staples, your pantry's always stocked. These are go-tos that you can whip together in 10 minutes. And then it's about the longer process is really building that healthy relationship with your body and with food, and getting to know your body and what it needs. And, does a salad work best for you for breakfast, or is it oatmeal for you, or is it a smoothie? What works? It takes some experimentation, but just like you have the lifestyle you have right now, you can create this new lifestyle that will be with you for the rest of your life. But learning to eat intuitively, learning to really listen to your body, get back in touch with our bodies. After being raised and being in this diet culture where it's like, oh, I'm going to look outside myself. I'm going to look for the right diet plan. Oh, that one didn't work. I'm going to look for another diet plan and then another one. And think about all the time and energy that we've wasted trying to figure out which one of those out there is right for us, instead of taking that time and energy to really create the one that's right for us and basing it in whole foods. The more whole foods, the better. Creating those go-tos around whole food meals. Then it's just a matter of, okay, well, oatmeal works best for me, or beans and greens works best for me. Which one feels better for my body? Which one works better for my schedule? What can I do to fit this in, but in a holistic sense where I'm figuring this out? I've got the power here, and really take your power back in that way.
The change has to come from within, yeah. Mariam.
To me, the word diet is a bit draining. And I know a lot of people feel that just because, and it's generally temporarily. And then you go back to the habits you're used to. Yes, changing into a new lifestyle takes some time, patience, determination, but it's not that hard. Keep it simple, keep it balanced. And there are a lot of simple, let's say, tricks and tips that you can do for yourself that can help you or leads you towards that direction. One thing that I do for myself is I try to make my plates colorful. In that way, it's more appealing, visually appealing, appetizing. I know people around me would want to try it. So I'm motivating also people around me to try healthier food dishes. And at the same time, I try to be aware of my macros. So I have my proteins, I have my carbs, I have my fats, and everything that my body needs. That's one thing. Second thing, I try to cook it in different forms, different ways, test things out. I usually do my grocery shopping every week, and I try to choose 2 new vegetables and 2 new fruits every week. And I make it fun for me, cook it in a different way, see how my body reacts to it, make up new dishes. So my habits will slowly start to accommodate and slowly start to like that kind of lifestyle and take it further. So maybe these are some simple tricks, tips that I've used for myself. Hopefully it will help Khadija, I think her name is, right?
That was it. You said it much better than I did. Sorry about that. Hope that helps. Yeah, that's a lovely tip. I think it's that thing. It's kind of like when you become vegan and people go, oh, it must be so restrictive. And it's like, well, no, it's just 3 animals I'm not eating anymore. And actually I've broadened my dietary repertoire. And I think that, you're so right that a big part of it is actually kind of going, no. Rather than restricting myself with a diet, it is about broadening it and trying all these different new foods that are out there. It can still be fun and it can still be an adventure. That's such a good point, I think. Thanks for that. Final question, and I like this one too. Paige says, what's your favorite ingredient in the cupboard to cook with? I think I can guess yours, Ella.
Chickpeas.
I'm guessing beans. Sure.
Yeah, no, chickpeas. Chickpeas are just for me. I'm a chickpea-aholic, so I can just eat them out of the can. But also cauliflower. I think cauliflower is a great one because you can make. There's unlimited things you can do with cauliflower. I even put frozen cauliflower in my smoothies. It has no flavor. I keep it frozen, so it has the same kind of help with the texture and making the smoothie nice and
sure.
Yeah. And so using it for that, and then you can air fry it and make cauliflower wings. You can make sauces out of it by steaming it. There's just so much you can do with cauliflower, and it's really comforting, and it's got so many nutrients, even though it's a white food. It's one of the few white foods that actually have tons and tons of nutrition.
They are good. That's a good call. Like it. Mariam, what about you?
I love chickpeas as well. There's so much you can do with chickpeas, whether it's for breakfast, for lunch, as a snack, for dinner. Something sweet, you can cook so much with chickpeas. Tons of protein, good fats, fiber, and everything. So I love chickpeas as well. I love cucumbers. I put cucumbers in everything, in my salads, in my drink, everything. What else? Anything that's green. I like to take it also as a challenge for me and make sure that I include it because there are tons of nutrients. They're actually tasty. A lot of people would, try to stay away from something that's green and think it's too green and boring. But then I try to, come up with something that's fun, tasty, nutritious, and delicious. So yeah.
That's great. I got to say, if ever you fancy falling off the wagon, I mean, chickpeas, you're right. I'm so with you on chickpeas. I tried last week. You'll explode when you hear this, and I'm sorry. But Yotam Ottolenghi on his website has a recipe for miso and peanut butter chickpea salad. You're really pushing it, calling it a salad. It's really just roasted chickpeas. They're roasted in peanut butter and white miso paste, among other things. And frankly, the salad's a garnish. But, oh man, it's so good.
That sounds amazing.
Try it. You'll never go back, I swear.
What's yours? Is it tempeh?
Shit, listen. I'm trying to hold it together, but I mean, chickpeas is a great answer. Cauliflower is a great answer. I increasingly have been using cauliflower. Just roasting it with some spices is just so delicious. But I mean, I think I would go for tofu. You know, the tofu is just, and again, I'll eat it from the packet. I'm not particularly flashy about it. But you know, that's as you advance into veganism, you can do that. You know, suddenly soy milk tastes creamy and delicious, and not like watery cardboard. Don't know what happens. It's a miracle of the palate. Anyway, thanks to you both so much. Where can people find you and the work you do? Ella, let's start with you.
ellamajors.com and Sexy Fit Vegan on social media.
Still 1 out of 3. Very good. And Miriam, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram, Mariam Al-Jarallah. Yeah.
Perfect. That was easy.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah. Huge thanks to you both. Before I go, quick reminder that Vegan Life Live is happening in London, I think. I should check that. I think it's in London. Anyway, if you want to get tickets, there'll be more information at veganlifemag.com. I'm going to be there. We're going to be doing a live recording of the podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can come and sort of, poke me and say, I don't like it when you say that, and I'll sort of say, oh, thanks very much. And then I'll run to the toilets and have a cry. And come back out. It will be a lot of fun. Let's do it. In the meantime, though, from me, Jake Yap, thanks so much for listening and goodbye.